We're back, and it's once again time to delve into the mysteries of San Ignacio. We're gonna start by pressing this very nervous sweeper. It's true that they found her carrying a spade at least. So you say my entire testimony is nothing but the truth, right? Hold up, I didn't say that. I've got questions for you. For starters, this is a pretty different story from what you said before. Why are you only bringing up the spade now? Just seeing someone tied right in front of you messes with you deeply, to be honest. One moment they're just standing there, and the next they're just gone. Never to open their eyes again. The witch's death is cruel to watch. It's hard to keep completely calm and remember everything clearly. I'm sorry. I say, you can continue. There's definitely an issue with the testimony, but I don't think it's this statement at least. And at the end there, she sounds so genuine. Am I overthinking it? So you're saying the intent was to injure but not kill? So, you know, stab just to harm? I think so. It was kind of hard to say. And I'm not a mind reader or any kind of witch, so I wouldn't know anyway. Of course not, Mr. Mingo. You're a good, honest citizen. Thank you for your kind words, sir. I guess I can't question the oddness of the supposed ritual. If I did, they'd just say we can't understand witches. Again. So instead, let me ask you this. Did the spade look like it was used at all? Oh, yes, I remember now. It was covered in dirt. Interesting response, and a suspicious one too. Though it does say it's still covered in dirt and soil here. Let's just keep going, alright? But you does say the spade was wiped clean here. So you're saying the spade was wiped completely clean? Yes, that's what I said. What did you need to ask again? She didn't see the knife since it was presented to the court before she took the stand. I'm guessing the spade must be the same way. I was just making sure. It seemed odd to me. Of course it's odd. It's a witch ritual. Perhaps Miss Alvarez is claiming this type of ritual is abnormal even by her standards. I wonder what the implications of that could be. I wish he'd stop it. He's not even good at being passive-aggressive. I'm not falling for that. Don't have any additional questions about this statement. Oh, well, that's a relief. So I just want to make this one thing very clear. Actually, no. I refuse. I shouldn't press her on this. That would just be pointlessly cruel as far as I can see. I'm going to be a bit harsh if it means defending myself, but this isn't it. I should probably focus on her other statements. This one, I can safely ignore. You're kind of glaring at me. Do you have something to say? Ah, sorry, my face just gets like that sometimes. Don't mind me. Let's see, I think I got it. What was that? Yeah, so it's this one. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was pressing. Makes sense. Right. We are going to present spade. That is, I mean, in the picture, obviously, it's fine, but it says right here, still covered in dirt and soil. You know, it's kind of strange. I'm not completely sure why you made this sort of mistake, but it stands out to me. Huh, a mistake? What? No, I swore up and down I was telling the truth. I thought you were a nice evil witch. You have to believe me. Unfortunately, believing you is impossible right now. Not just because it would spell death for me, but because it doesn't line up with the evidence. Miss Alvarez, I must say you've been very stubborn throughout this trial. It's almost like you don't want to be burned at the stake or something. I don't see why a witch wouldn't want to be burned. Come on. The court's resources could be used elsewhere. Need I remind you of that? It's my life to defend. Wouldn't you do the same? If I were possessed by the sort of devilry that witches are, I'd gladly sacrifice myself. I have my doubts about that. And if you were innocent? Miss Alvarez, Mr. Alonso, you're both getting very sidetracked. Please accept my apologies, Your Grace. You're quite right. Right, I have more important things to focus on anyway. Here, take a look at the spade that my lookalike was holding. It's covered in dirt and soil. Oh, so it is. Wait. It's clear without me saying it, but I'll do it anyway, just for clarity. If the spade was wiped clean, then why is it covered in dirt? Well, I mean, you wiped it away really well. You specifically wiped it so only the blood got off, but not the dirt. Maybe? You're a cleaner? Please tell me how that would work. Also, that's different from what you said before. What do you mean? You said that my lookalike was the one who wiped the spade. Now you're saying it was me. I misspoke. I'm sure there's a logical explanation for all of this. That's what you said last time. Miss Domingo, are you really going to try and change your story again? Really? Maybe it's time for me to take a different approach? Maybe this is what I should have been doing all along. Everyone, I'm really sorry. I have to admit, I've been deceiving you all. Miss Domingo, you should know that perjury is considered a crime. I overlooked the previous incident due to how stressful it must have been seeing someone perish, but... No, please, just listen to me. I'm a good citizen, I swear it. I did something that will make you all proud of me. You'll see how loyal I am. Mr. Alonso, you hate witches, don't you, right? Same for you, Your Grace. But of course, witches are a menace to society. But what has taken hold of you? You're acting very strangely, Miss Domingo. If you keep acting this hysterical, one might think that you're a witch yourself. No, I'm not a witch. Please don't look at me like that. I'm going to tell you all exactly what really happened, and then you'll be happy. I mean, she does have a broomstick. What do witches ride? I wanted to run away from it, but why should I? I did a good thing, not a bad thing. Hey, so I'm going to say we should take a break or something? She's clearly under a lot of stress right now. We shouldn't push her. No, don't do that. If you do, you think I'm plotting something. Or you might think I'm a witch like she was. Just let me get it out. I didn't see someone stab that witch with a knife. I'm the one who stole her life. I killed the witch because I knew she had to be evil. Oh. Is that so? Please continue, Miss Domingo. You've piqued my curiosity. Wait. You did what? She admitted to killing someone? Why aren't they reacting more? Even if they don't treat witches like they're human, shouldn't they be reacting more? Is it just me? It can't be, right? Let me start over from the very beginning. There might be points in the story where I sound like I wavered, but please listen to the end. You'll see that I did a good thing, even though I was so scared. Like I said before, I was at the tail end of my shift near the Forest of Witches. That's when I heard her voice. You're not very good at hiding yourself, you know? What? You knew I was here? I'm good at this sort of thing, and you don't seem like much of a spy. So who sent you? What are they offering? Or is this just a thing where you hate me for no real reason? I really don't know what you're talking about. I just heard someone chanting and... Oh, this was a bad idea. Why would I follow chanting coming from close to the Forest of Witches? I should have known it would get me killed. I'm too curious for my own good. Whoa, settle down there. You're not going to get killed. I'm not that scary. I hope. about what you just said. So this is where they've been burying all the witches. So this is where they've been burying all the witches, huh? You're not gonna hurt me? You mean you aren't a witch? I'm not gonna hurt you, no. Try taking a load off if you can. You're a cleaner, yeah? They probably overwork you. If you can take a breather, you should. How did you know that I'm a cleaner? Did you use your magic? No, just basic intuition from looking at you. It's a pretty safe guess. Can I ask you something? Shoot. Aren't you Dorothy Alvarez? That mercenary I've seen around occasionally? What are you even doing here? Huh? Afraid you're wrong. I don't know who you're talking about. Wait, really? Are you a relative? You look so identical. Even your outfits seem exactly the same. Like I said, don't know what you're talking about. They do say that everyone has a few people who look just like them in the world. Maybe it's something like that? Hey, is this Dorothy person cool? Is it Dorothea? Maybe? Dorothea? Because, I mean, I'm British, I see the word T and I read it in a specific way. And it kind of sounds like Dorothy, but I don't know. Oh, goodness. I feel like I'm gonna fake this too much. Huh? Really? Is it the area? Do you want to get out of here or something? You're being too nice to me. That must mean you want something from me. So what is it? Are you going to use me as a human sacrifice? No, don't worry about that. Pretty cynical way of viewing things, though, gotta say. But aren't you a witch? You really seem like one. Depends on your definition of witch, I guess. Please just say yes or no. Oh, but that takes away all the nuance. That's not any fun. If you really want an answer, though, yeah, I've been called a witch before. Pretty sure that's just because I got a different faith system, though. Gonna cast stones at me or something? Trust me, I don't mean any harm. If anything, I like to help people out. Like earlier this night, I stumbled across this farm, right? I could tell whoever owned it was struggling, so I decided to help out a little bit. Help them not starve once the harvest season roll around, you know? But as soon as he saw me, he just chased me off. Oh well, used to it. Why are you telling me this? I figured a funny anecdote would set you a little more at ease. Doesn't seem like it worked the way I wanted it to, though. I'm sorry, I really don't want to get close to a witch. Well, that's a shame, but I'm not really surprised. If you're that uncomfortable, I won't keep you here longer. Feel free to go. I'm really sorry. I was scared out of my wits' end at that very moment. Twitch's words were so nice and comforting to me. She was trying to manipulate me. I thought I could just walk away and pretend nothing had ever happened. I kept getting this gnawing feeling eating away at my heart. Ooh. Which is evil, right? They shouldn't be allowed to exist. Of course, Miss Domingo. It would be heretical to claim otherwise. Real quick, I'm just saying... It doesn't say where she was stabbed. This might not be relevant like I was thinking it'd be. The knife you all showed me before, it's mine. Wait, hold up. Are you going to say what I think you're going to say? Let's not interrupt her. I'm curious. I was scared. I was confused. She was being so nice to me, but it all felt wrong. She acted nice, but that's what it was, right? An act. It had to be. She must have been waiting for me to lower my guard or something. And the fact that she just happened to look like someone else was suspicious, right? So what I did next was completely normal, right? Sounds to me like you're trying to justify things to yourself. Maybe I am, but I did what I thought was right. Your Grace, Mr. Alonso, I won't lie to you both. I was tempted to believe the witch's word. She was so soothing. It made me question if everything I knew about witches was a lie. Unfortunately, evil has a vested interest in corrupting the just and innocent. Your hesitation is unfortunate, but not uncommon for a member of your social class. But you'll be proud of what I did next. I waited for a bit, and then before long she left for the forest. I had a better hiding spot this time. She wouldn't catch me again. I took out my knife, that I always carry for self-defense. If there was ever a time to defend myself, it was now, right? I wish I could say it was a graceful slaying in any way, but it wasn't. I ran up to her, plunged the knife into her chest, and stole her life. She must have seen me coming, but for some reason, she didn't resist. She must have been trying to confuse me into showing her mercy. That was it. But I felt horrified and guilty over what I'd done. I don't know why. Let me help you figure it out then. You just admitted to killing an innocent person. What the hell is wrong with you? And you framed me after that, didn't you? Correction, Miss Alvarez. She didn't kill anyone. She slew a witch. That's completely absurd and you know it. Miss Alvarez, I won't tolerate any outbursts in my court. Compose yourself. However, forgiveness is a virtue, and I understand that you must be emotional right now. Just do keep in mind that being clouded by emotion never ends well. You're calling me out and not anyone else here, huh? Of course you are. Damn it, back to biting my tongue. So here's what happened next. I was swallowed by guilt. I've been carrying cleaning supplies and kept using them to scrub my hands clean. I lost myself in the rhythm for a while. Things barely felt real. I was panicked. The only thing that brought me out of all of this was the sudden pain in my hands. I kept washing them over and over again. I wanted to get the blood off my hands, but I could still feel it even when it was gone. I only stopped washing them once my hands were red and the pain grew unbearable. It's strange, I genuinely thought I must have cleaned the knife as well. I've been so thorough and I'm professional at not overlooking these things. I thought surely while I was washing my hands there must have been a point where I remembered. I didn't. How careless of me. You had just killed someone and were panicked about it. This would all make sense to you if you actually thought of her as a human being you killed. Eventually I stumbled out of the area and tried to find the nearest card I could find. I couldn't explain myself properly. I wanted to tell him about the witch. I wanted to let him know that there had been a threat and it was gone, but I felt guilty. He followed me anyway to where the corpse was, even though I couldn't get the words out. When he saw the corpse, he yelled out your name, Miss Alvarez. It was frightful and brought me back to reality for a short moment. He sounded pained. I'm sorry, Billy. But that's when I quickly thought of an idea. You see, I knew that she was a witch, but I still felt guilty about everything then. I thought that Miss Alvarez was surely a witch too, right? The fact that she looked exactly like the dead witch, it couldn't be a coincidence, right? So that's when I gave my false version of what I saw. You just decided I had to be a witch based on one very strange coincidence. Did you really think I was a witch, or were you just trying to assuage your guilt? I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't want anything terrible to happen. I just wanted to do the right thing. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the only sin you've committed is not informing us sooner. Are you being serious right now? Of course I am. Think of it logically. The world is better off with one less witch haunting us. Miss Domingo is a hero. She murdered someone. I'm going to keep reminding you of that because you keep forgetting. Still on this, are you? Your Grace, will you do the honors? Very well. Miss Alvarez, you should know that killing a witch isn't considered murder. Miss Domingo would have a very strong legal defense here. She could claim self-defense, or that she was preventing the witch from harming others. Damn it, I can't convince them this way. I'm just shouting to avoid at this point. But you framed me, you realise that, right? If I get convicted of witchcraft, the second person will die by your actions. Now I've chosen my side, now you can't keep tricking me. You were in league with that other witch. Yes, I went about it the wrong way, but I just wanted to keep the village safe. You entered San Ignacio under suspicious circumstances anyway, right? Is that what this has been about? Are you serious? No, of course you are. If I say this out loud, they'll surely shut me down. But I have to wonder. What's the more miserable possibility here? Do you really think I'm a witch? Or maybe you're just trying to convince yourself of that to lessen your own guilt. Finally, it's the most cynical interpretation I can think of. Are you just trying to curry favour by claiming that you helped defeat witchcraft? And that's the thing that I immediately thought she was doing. As soon as she started on this. She's definitely just doing this for herself. She's got an evil alternate self and she's gonna sort of break down. Maybe. That's usually how it happens. No matter what, it's clear the system has broken you. This isn't the way to any kind of happiness. You have to realise that. Stop glaring at me like that, please. I didn't do anything wrong. If you have something to say to me, then just say it. I know, Domingo. Any sympathy I had for your plight is gone. All that remains is pity. Well, all of this has been most enlightening, don't you think? So am I free to go now? Pardon? You heard me. Doesn't it make more sense to let me go now? I fought off both accusations of witchcraft, in case you forgot. Oh, but that's not quite the case. Surely you realise that. What? Allow me to explain, Miss Alvarez. The initial claims against you have been disproven. That's true. However, the fact remains that you could have collaborated with the dead witch. Your association with her is still highly suspect. Okay, but you have to realise that's extremely unreasonable. Is this what all courts are like? Or is this a special exception made just for witch hunts? Miss Alvarez, your words border on heresy. Do watch yourself. It's merely our duty to ensure that we look at every possibility. That's all. Ugh. Just say that you all hate me for reasons beyond my control and be done with it. I hate you because you have a nickname for some reason. And I just hate you because it's fun. I'm sorry, Miss Alvarez. If you were really sorry, you would have changed course a long time ago. Or even right now. You could lend me a hand. But I can't. I won't. You're a witch. If I may. You may speak, Mr. Alonso. I would like to request a short recess to speak with you in private, Your Grace. Huh? I suppose it's not out of the question. Okay, so sorry about this, Billy, but I'm done biting my tongue. I like to think I've managed okay up until now, but at this rate, I'm gonna die no matter what. Are you serious? Do you realise how unbelievably shady that sounds? There's nothing shady about it, Miss Alvarez. It's a simple meeting, that's all. In that case, why don't I come with you both? I'm afraid it won't be possible. You're still suspected of witchcraft. But do I deserve the chance to defend myself here? You've been given ample opportunity to do that. And at every turn you've denied all my efforts. It's just a simple worry that you may use magic to influence us, Miss Alvarez. Magic that you just assume I have and unable to call upon at any time unnoticed? My, you're being quite combative now. What happened to your manners? All things considered, I think I'm treating you better than you're treating me. Ahem. We shouldn't engage in this petty squabbling. Rodrigo and I will have our meeting. Miss Alvarez, you'll stay here. We'll assign a few guards to keep watch over you. You understand, of course. No, I don't actually. Pardon? If you're gonna do this, shouldn't I have the right to meet with someone too? Maybe Billy has some sort of idea. I don't know. I'm afraid your request is denied, for reasons that Mr. Alonso's already gone over. Of course it is. Why did I expect any different? You won't be waiting long, I assure you. Oh, and Miss Domingo? Yes? You'll be a part of this meeting as well. Please, come with us. Oh, yes, sir. Anything you say. You being serious? Could you look any more suspicious? Still, I know what the result will be if I say it. Damn it! Alright. I guess I'll wait here then. I found myself closing my eyes once more, trying to calm myself as best I could. For a brief moment, I genuinely wondered if I had better luck running away then and there. It had been clear from the start that they weren't interested in a fair trial of any kind. Still, the blatant corruption involved here shocked even me. None of the witnesses were noble, so Billy had thought they had a chance. So did I. But they were treating me worse than my already low expectations had prepared me for. The reason why was obvious, but of course they would try and deny it if I said anything. They already tried to disguise their intent with pretty words. The fact that I was an outsider was enough to label me a witch. As less than human. If they thought I didn't see what they were doing, they must have thought I was a fool. Still, my protest would mean nothing if I ended up dead no matter what. How do you win a trial that's fully stacked against you? One where the goalposts are constantly shifting and you're treated like filth. I felt like even if the accusations against me were fully dropped, I would still be found guilty. Well, here's the thing at this point. Both of the witnesses' accounts were only about the doppelganger and not about Dot herself. So there's literally zero evidence at this point that she's a witch, except for the fact that she looks suspiciously identical and wearing the same clothes as the witch, which is a bit of a coincidence, but, you know, they seem to think it's automatically witch. Like, the doppelganger could easily have just, like, spotted her from afar, copied that outfit, could be engaged in some trickery. I don't know. There's going to be an explanation, and it's going to be interesting because I have no idea what it could be now. How does one win against a system like that? I tried to steady my heart, but nothing could quell the rage that was building up. What to stop me from yelling was a lifetime of being forced to be resilient. I hated the fact that I had to be resilient. It was the only way I could survive. I opened my eyes for a brief moment and took notice of the guards who had shown up. One of them was Billy, who shot me a sympathetic look. I tried my best to avoid his gaze, fearing that he'd get pulled into this. The thought entered my head that merely looking at each other for too long would be seen as suspect. If I had to perish, they just wanted to make sure no other good people followed me. My thoughts turned into a haze until finally I remembered something. No matter what happens, don't say you're a witch. Remembering those words made me feel like I was still real, somehow. It was strange, considering I still thought that might have been a dream. I thought about my lookalike's actions and then remembered something. Now, if she was woken up from amnesia 10 years ago, this is a wild theory, but could she have been a creation of the witch, the doppelganger somehow? You know, created there in the forest, like, I don't know, something wacky, like a doll being brought to life or something like that, you know. Like a creation of a witch. That would be interesting. It was a part of Anna's story, though I'd barely given it any thought until now. It was hard to focus on anything other than her almost casual admittance of murder. She'd mentioned that my doppelganger had tried to help a farmer somehow. I remembered the supposed crop killer that Matteo had presented to the court. This was perhaps my only chance to examine it close without getting stopped. I slowly reached for it, fearing that one of the guards would stop me. Yet none of them moved. I could only guess why they hadn't done anything. Maybe it was Billy's influence. Maybe they thought I had right to examine it that the bishop hadn't granted me. Still, I hurriedly looked more closely at the green liquid. Wait just a moment. This mixture shouldn't kill crops at all. Do I look like a chemist of some kind? It's a bit beyond me. I know for a fact this mixture should promote growth, not stifle it. Crop killer has been updated. Ooh, interesting. So the worst she'd done was a bit of trespassing after all. You'd already decided she didn't matter as a human being though. Still, this knowledge was the one new weapon I had. Hopefully it'll be enough. Crop grower. Finally, I heard the sounds of 4 pairs of footsteps and I hurriedly put the bottle away. My apologies for the delay. I was doing a bit of light reading, just Guinness Book of World Records 1773 edition. This is very interesting. But we've achieved some great results. I really don't like the way you're putting that. So, should I ask the obvious question? What obvious question is that, Miss Alvarez? Why are they both here? Really think about that one for a second, Witch. Are you telling me you really can't come up with anything? I'm just here to finish what we started, that's all. Oh, I got my voices mixed up, sorry. We're just here to finish what we started after all. Is having 2 witnesses at the stand conventional? It can be, depending on the needs of the court. Miss Alvarez, I'm sure you must have some understanding of what's happening here. I have a pretty good guess. I'm just wondering what level of corruption I'm looking at here. Your sense of humor is rather poor, Miss Alvarez. Your words are confused. You seem to have mistaken justice for corruption. Why don't you just tell me why I'm surrounded by people who want to see me dead, then? You're only vindicating what I said earlier in the trial. Unless they follow the church's teachings like the bishop has, women are over-emotional. No wonder most witches are women, or the men they've seduced into evil. And there's the usual flash of anger, and something else. What is this pain in my chest? I wish I had time to focus on it. Anyway, I hate his words, but I hate the fact that no one is speaking up even more. It went badly before, but whatever. Let's see what happens this time. Your Grace? Mr. Ramos? Mr. Mingo? Do any of you have something to say to that? No, I don't want to make a fuss. None of my business. As I've stated previously, Miss Alvarez, he's allowed to state his opinions. He's just making an observation, supported by observable facts. I think I might hate you more for not stopping him, honestly. This attempt at pretending to be neutral is more harmful in some ways. Alright, so what did you all plot together? That's the nicest you're gonna get from me now. I suppose it will have to do. Don't worry, all will follow standard procedure. Our 2 witnesses here merely want to give sort of a combined testimony of sorts. If you may prefer, you may think of it as their closing accusations against you. Or, you know, the final boss. What did you offer them? Excuse me? I'm not trying to be subtle here. What did you offer to get them to agree to this? Did you offer them some kind of favor? Or maybe you just threatened them? Or maybe you were all on the same page and decided I really needed to die? Miss Alvarez, you've really lost your temper recently. Whatever is the matter? No, Your Grace. If anything, my previous behavior was more unnatural. Now I'm finally acting like a person and giving you all the proper responses you deserve. Perhaps this rudeness comes from your mercenary background. They are rather uncouth. That must be it, Your Grace. Mercenaries are truly a blight on society. Thugs whose only use is getting themselves killed and decreasing the surplus population of deviants. I got that from Dickens. My favourite character, Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, he's so relatable and wise. But he gets a bit weird towards the end. But I only really like the first part anyway. I really want to make a remark about that, but I don't even think I can begin to unpack it. Okay, get on with it then. Excuse me? You heard me. Start the blatantly rigged and illogical testimony against me. I'd rather start fighting it sooner rather than later. My, I really hope you are granted the virtue of temperance soon. I suppose she's right about one thing. There is little point in delaying the final testimony. It's the final testimony. Can the two of you take it away? Let's just get this over with. I don't want to talk with a witch any longer. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Let's wrap this up. All I can do is try to extend my own life by any amount of time. Just try to stay focused on that. So here's the thing. Both of us still stand by our accusations. You're a witch. We've decided that you are collaborating with the dead witch and trying to trick us before. Let's get the obvious through. You both look identical, and that's too much of a coincidence. Probably some sort of witchcraft where one of you took on the appearance of the other. Yeah, we can't stop the witchcraft unless both of you are gone, right? Isn't it better to be safe than sorry here? San Ignacio never should have welcomed you considering your shady background. You and that other witch tried to poison my crops and kill off my livelihood. Isn't it obvious you're just trying to shift all the blame to your partner now that she's gone? When I was talking to the dead witch, I could tell she had some kind of mind control magic. That must be why I felt so unsure for so long. Who's to say you don't have it too? So, was the goal to confuse me with a disorganized and illogical testimony? If so, congratulations, mission accomplished. You can't simply ignore their accusations because it's inconvenient for you, Miss Alvatrez. You must engage with their arguments if you want to convince this court of anything. Though the thought that the courts was supposed to be decided by proof, not fear-mongering. If you're going to go this far, it'd be easy to just stop pretending. I like her. She's a good protagonist. Like, in this part especially, where she's just going full, all out. I'm loving it. Why doesn't the bishop use her special powers to declare me guilty without trial? Maybe that's for farce whenever this is supposed to be, at least. I don't use my powers without careful consideration, despite what you might think. The church has specific rules to keep everyone's authority in check. Excessive overuse of my authority, no matter how justified, will invite some scrutiny. So the only reason I'm safe from it is because she already used it recently? She'd get investigated if she used it too much? I've already decided everyone here is corrupt, but maybe there's limits to how blatant they can be. Anyway, my doppelganger keeps accidentally shielding me from beyond the grave. I don't know how to feel about that. So, do I still have the right to question them? Or are you done pretending that I'm allowed even that? No need for the passive aggression, Miss Alvarez. Of course you have the right to question them. While I read the first few chapters and nothing more of A Christmas Carol. Though I have doubted it will lead to anything fruitful. Well, you don't know it yet, but I do have a secret weapon I can use. That might be my best shot at delaying the end of this trial. Very well. Let's proceed. Can the two of you repeat your testimony? If I have to. Days wasted anyway. Of course, Your Grace. Leave it to us. Leave it to us. Even though I've shown that both of you were mistaken? Is your plan to just keep accusing me until I give up out of exhaustion or something? Would that work better? If so, I'll switch to that. No, that's not what I meant. I was talking to Miss Domingo. Oh, look, my beliefs are unshakable right now. We'll keep fighting for justice no matter what you try to do. I wonder if you really believe that or not. Is it sadder to think you've been broken by society, or that you're just pretending? I don't know what you're talking about here, Miss Witch. Guess that won't work, huh? Emotional appeals are definitely out of the question. They've both chosen their paths. Whatever sympathy I might have had before, it doesn't matter if they're trying to kill me. Right then, let's hear more about these witchcraft accusations. Again. Right, so here's the thing. I'm curious as to what will even be good enough for all of you here. There's been no proof that we ever even met each other. Ignoring that strange maybe dream, but they don't need to know about that. If I told them about that, they'd definitely use it to try and accuse me even more. There's no proof that you haven't met each other, right? Can't prove a negative, and that is the number one thing when it came to witch trials. You just can't prove a negative. You're just damned either way, unless you're extremely lucky. Guilty until proven innocent, huh? Wait, didn't you mention that the dead witch had no idea who I was when my name came up? Oh, did I? You did, right before you casually admitted to murder. I didn't murder anyone. I already said she was trying to trick me. She could have been trying to trick me about that too. Forget it, this is going nowhere fast. She's clearly too far gone at this point, sad as it is to say. I really hate seeing anyone go down this route, but there's not really anything I can do now. Just continue then. I'll be taking over here, actually. And there's the part we always seem to circle back to. No one seems to be willing to believe it's just a coincidence. Even I realize how unsatisfying that answer must sound, but it's the truth. So, my totally wild theory might not actually be true, and this might just be the point of it really is just an amazing coincidence, but all of these amazing coincidences are just going to get attributed to witches. So this might actually be a thing where it's, you know, actually is completely a coincidence, which obviously would be out of character for most Ace Attorney games, but for the point they're trying to make here, it would work. Even I haven't realised how unsatisfying the answer must sound, but it's the truth. So what kind of approach should I take here? Got something to say to me? Don't much appreciate being blankly stared at. Who knows what you're plotting in that rotten head of yours? I'm just wondering, how would you feel if someone showed up who looked exactly like you? Someone who had no connection to you, but others insisted there must be one. I see what you're going for. Fortunately, it's not going to work the way you want it to. Thought experiments don't reflect reality, so don't try to confuse the issue here. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. The truth rarely does, apparently. Can you stop wasting my time now? It's pretty obvious I'm not going to make any headway here, so feel free to keep talking. Don't like talking, but that doesn't matter much when a witch is around. Maybe after all this I can rest my vocal cords. Sorry for the inconvenience, it's only my life we're talking about here. Anyway, I got a pretty good idea why you look so similar to the dead witch. It's... And the purpose of that would be... How should I know? You could just be trying to cause chaos for all I know. jumping in here for a bit. It confused me, at least. Maybe you just wanted an alibi for when one of you did something illegal? I have literally never been associated with any crimes up until you two accused me of this. You can ask the village guard if you like. I'm sure they keep the records. There's no need for that. Unfortunately, she's telling the truth. That doesn't discount the possibility that you could have been planning future wickedness. Okay, I see all of you really like this thing where you just make things up. Let's just keep going with the testimony. Doesn't seem like you'll listen to me. Not here anyway. Maybe we're in the statement we'll be doing your secret weapon. You know what? This is very relatable. Just being like, you're just gonna keep fucking talking, fucking saying random shit, and there's literally no proof behind what you're saying. But I'm just gonna be sarky towards you because that's literally, yeah, it's great. Not here anyway. Maybe in the statement with my new secret weapon. Stop wasting my time with these pointless questions. My turn next, right? Okay, so I'm genuinely wondering this. What sort of witchcraft do you think is happening right now? You've admitted that I wasn't the one who stabbed my lookalike. That was you. That sounds so judgmental. I did it because... Wait, I don't have to justify myself to you. The awful thing you did isn't my point here. The point is that there was no ritual. As far as I can see, the only witchcraft we're still being accused of is the harvesting. Don't dismiss my entire livelihood like it's nothing. That's right, and you're trying to get revenge for her, right? That would make sense. You seem like the vengeful type. No offense, you're nice for an evil witch, like I said before. But even then, you might hold grudges, right? It's just sad. What happened to you, Anna? Enough. It's obvious this isn't going to get through to you. You just hit me with more conspiracy theories if I question you further. I'm sorry. Huh? No, I didn't say anything. Anyway, we need to not take any risks. I'd say that could go very badly very quickly. Are you seriously advocating for potentially killing innocent people just in case they're witches? No, that's not what I mean. But this really is a specific case, right? Maybe you're the real witch. Did you ever think about that? She's right. It's not like all this would set a new precedent or something. Unless another villager happened to also have a witch doppelganger to suddenly wander in. Exactly, yeah. It's just all sorts of suspicious things line up perfectly, right? So if it looks this bad, you know? You've lost me. No, I don't know. Oh, well, it's not really paranoia if it's true and prevents the worst, right? Okay, forget this. This isn't working. Perhaps you should take this as a sign that your questioning is rather ineffective, Ms. Alvarez. Maybe you should take your career as a sign that your existence is ineffective, Rodrigo. Oh, I wish she said that out loud. But at the same time, if she'd done that, she's also making herself look worse. So yeah, biting the tongue again. Can't say that giving into paranoia sounds like a good idea to me, but this isn't working. I would agree with that, at least. Witnesses, please continue. Was this job really not necessary? I'm just speaking the truth. Take it or leave it. I mean, your background really is suspicious. I genuinely don't know anything aside from what I've told people. So you claim. It's hardly convenient. I'm not going to be able to convince you that I'm telling the truth, am I? You'd be right about that. One can hardly blame you. Your background could point to any number of dangerous possibilities. You've escaped scrutiny for too long, and now it comes back to haunt you. Nothing I say is going to convince you. Fine, let's just move on. Don't try to play innocent, especially not after what you did. I feel like I've asked you this before, but what would be the point of that? It's not like either of us have a vendetta against you. It could have been anyone. My guess is I'm not the first farm you've targeted. could have been anyone's fields that you tried to ruin. Also, can I speak up? Yes. Okay, so maybe you too have a vendetta we don't know about? Witches probably have super powerful memories, right? So maybe you two just remember something that Matteo doesn't. It's a fair enough point. My memory is fine, but it's not superhuman. In other words, you think a motive maybe exists, possibly, but also maybe not? Well, of course, it sounds silly when you put it like that. Who are you trying to fool? It just feels strange that you're so sure we were trying to ruin your fields. Why even take that sort of approach? Don't ask me. All I know is the poison tells us the whole story. Oh, you're half right. The bottle definitely tells us some kind of story. Gotta say, the way you're treating your dead partner is pretty cold. I'm not going to ask you if you really think that I'd do that. Clearly, you do. But what kind of defense is that once you really stop and think about it? A cold one, but you merc types seem like you'd do anything to crawl out of a bad situation. Ouch, but also not what I mean. The fact is, you've all been trying to link me to my dead lookalike from the start. So, trying to blame her doesn't make much sense. After all, trying to use her as a scapegoat would just make me seem more suspicious. Speaking of which, I don't think I've been doing that. Witches are driven by emotion, aren't they? You probably didn't realise until now. Besides, it really sounds like you're trying to trick us right now. Trying to get us on your side, but your tricks won't work on us. Basic persuasion isn't magic. Whatever. Forget it. Just go back to blaming me for all your problems or whatever it is you're doing. Clearly this isn't working. Oh, well, me next, right? So, speaking of your tricks... Don't suppose you could elaborate on what this mind control is supposed to be? Okay, so here's what it was like. I could feel my heart wavering. She sounded so reassuring, calming. It was like I was lighter somehow, and I felt like things were okay for a moment. But I knew that was too good to be true. She was trying to trick me by acting nice. That's just really sad. And he thought that her motives had to be selfish. I mean, yes? Why else would she do that? Maybe she wanted me to become a witch too? I don't know. But she let you go, didn't she? Miss Alvarez, please stop trying to confuse the witness. Pull yourself together. We can take her on. Don't let her confuse you. Yeah, okay. Can we please move on? It doesn't feel right, but okay. You know, this really just goes to show that I was right about the mind control. You must have been trying it on me earlier, too. Nope, I don't think that questioning this is a good idea. I'll just get accused of trying mind control or whatever nonsense they've landed on most recently. I should focus on other parts of the testimony. Miss Alvarez, are you ready to confess your guilt? Are you ready to confess your incompetence? How dare you? Your petty jobs are delusional. My track record is quite exemplary, Miss Alvarez. Whatever, if you say so. Back to focusing on the actual testimony. Back to the testimony. I think I know what this is going for. You're not the witch poisoned my crops, tried to kill off my livelihood. And we have this newly examined evidence. I've gotten really tired of this excuse for a fair and balanced trial, but here, just look at it. I don't wish to question your words further, but you want us to look at this bottle? Is this not the strange crop killer that Mr. Ramos presented to this court earlier? It is. I'd know that poison from anywhere. It's only poison for crops and not humans, right? She's threatening us, right? Even if it did impact humans, the mod left can't be used for much. Miss Alvarez would be a fool to try and threaten us with it. And again, she's shown herself to be rather below even a fool in intelligence, so who's to say? Shut up and take a closer look at what's actually in this, all of you. I'll be merciful and pay no mind to your words, Miss Alvarez. Clearly this is important to you. Pray tell, what should we be seeing here? Maybe she was into alchemy or something, and that's how she made this. Or maybe, considering we know little about her, this is from some other part of the world. Either way, I'll tell all of you this right now. This is no crop killer. You aren't going to get into semantics, are you? The point is, she tried to ruin my harvest. I remember when I talked with the witch, she had some of this put on her clothes. Oh, so it's probably not poison then, since she was fine. What a relief. The mixture of the supposed crop killer is more like a fertilizer. In other words, this can't be used to harm your harvest, Mr. Ramos. If anything, it should improve it, or do nothing at the very worst. What plane reality did you exit out of? You're speaking total nonsense. I don't really know all that much about chemicals or alchemy. Isn't that sort of witchcraft adjacent? I need to stay away from that. What a pathetic excuse for defense, Miss Alvarez. Really? You have to stoop to such a desperate and paper-thin defense? Please conduct yourself with some dignity and... Wait. No. She's right. What are you saying, Your Grace? Wait, is she actually hearing me out on this one? I feel ashamed for not taking a close look at this sooner. Miss Alvarez is completely correct. Explain yourself, Your Grace. As far as I can see, you're talking nonsense too. I'm not with him. I think you're being very wise, Your Grace. It's a good thing I came to this village. I must assume most wouldn't catch it. I've seen this sort of concoction before. Mr. Mingo, I highly recommend you pay attention to this if you want to become a merchant. Yes, Your Grace. Paying close attention. It's poison. What else could it be? That would be simple to believe is not the reality we live in. This concoction is similar to one I've seen merchants in the capital selling. If it was poison, it would have stopped them from selling it, but it's not. The strange concoction is an import from a trusted trade partner. In other words, Mr. Ramos, this concoction is the opposite of what you believed it to be. What? That's nonsense. Have they brainwashed you, Your Grace? My mind is clear, and I advise that you don't accept easy answers. I mean, I'm grateful that she's hearing me out, but I feel like I understand her even less now. She keeps saying awful things, not as often as Rodrigo does, but that's not much of a virtue. The fact that she never stops him from saying awful things either, so odds are it doesn't really bother her much at all. My fate is in her hands, but I feel like I don't know what she's thinking at all. I think I hate her, and I know that she talked with Rodrigo in private about something. It's easy to be paranoid, but I don't know. I won't pretend that she's a decent or reasonable person, but I might survive her judgment. Guess I'll just need to cling on to that and hope. I must say, Your Grace, knowledge of the strange poison is quite a boon. Forgive me, I misspoke. It isn't poison at all, is it? I see. I see. But what does it mean for the actual trial itself? You're kidding, right? It means both witchcraft accusations are meaningless. My doppelganger trespassed on a farm, but she clearly didn't use a witchcraft to make this. She must have gotten it from a merchant, or learned how to make it from a merchant. Since it isn't banned by the church, I have to assume this concoction isn't considered evil. You speak the truth. We're monitoring it, but it's unlikely to be banned or limited. So where does that leave us? Nothing but conspiracy theories that I might have known a witch. Someone who might not even have been involved in witchcraft. That dream felt so real, though. No, what am I thinking? It doesn't matter now. Do keep in mind that I did sense evil from our dead witch, so we know she was guilty. My judgment, there was not much mistaken, but this is your trial, not hers. Right, yeah, of course. My point about the accusations being hollow still stand, though. And there she goes back to being unreasonable and biased. I don't get it. I really feel like I'll never understand her. I don't want to. She's too creepy. Mr. Alonso, I must think more on what this means for the trial itself. Can you think of any further questions for either Mr. Ramos or Mr. Mingo? I know exactly where the trial must proceed from here, Your Grace. Huh? Oh no. And we're going to leave it, or a cliffhanger, for next time. So stay tuned, and we're going to find out what Alonso is planning. What Rodrigo has up his sleeve. So, next time. See you later.